All right. Welcome everyone once again. I'm Shalom Ibo, the founder of Renewat Technologies. So it's my pleasure to be hosting the eighth edition of Renew Education. And I'm pleased to have an energy analyst here with us. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about him, and he's going to take the floor to introduce himself and introduce the topic that we have today. So it's my pleasure to have on the call Mr. Pecos Kuteesa. He's He's an energy systems analyst at the Center for Research in Energy and Energy Conservation, where he supports energy planning and electrification projects in Uganda. He does that through geospatial analysis, mapping, and least cost modeling. Someone's mic is unmuted. Um, His work focuses on integrating spatial data sets to assess energy access gaps, optimize mini-grid locations, and inform policy and investment decisions. He has hands-on experience and expertise with open source tools such as QGIS, the Energy Access Explorer, which we'll be looking at today, and also the open source Spatial Electrification Tool and OnStove. He has trained over 200 people in Uganda on the application to advance data-driven energy planning. And he's here with us. It's my pleasure and a great honor to have him on the call with us. So over to you, Mr. Pecos. Yes, that's true. With our round of emojis, so let's see the fire emojis, let's see the clapping, let's make it a warm welcome for Mr. Pecos. Mr. Pecos, can you confirm that you can hear us? You're still muted in case you're speaking.
What about now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yes, Sharon, I can hear you.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Sharon, for having me here. Hello, everyone. I believe we are in different time zones. As I've been introduced, Paul Pecos, yes, sir. I'm from Uganda, and I work with the Center for Research in Energy and Energy Conservation. So I'll put on my screen for like a few minutes because I'm in a meeting phone even if it's moving. So I need somewhere I can sit to do it, then I'll continue. So I'm not going to leave my screen maybe because of network, or maybe there are a few people that are moving behind currently. So, but yeah, that's at least my face, which I think is in the flyer. So as I was saying, I work with the Center for Research in Energy and Energy Conservation, based in Uganda, which deals mainly in applied research, majorly in solar, bioenergy, and small hydro. We also do energy efficiency and auditing as well. And that's what we do at the research center. So at the center, at the research center, there I'm an energy specialist mainly. Handling and planning research. Well, you're not getting my sound. I see Christopher, can't hear me. Sharon, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I don't know. Maybe it must be Christopher's network, but so I was saying still in my introduction at the research center, I deal more with energy modeling and planning, where I use quite a number of tools, but mainly for this particular training session, the few minutes we have, our focus is on Onset, which is an open global electrification platform alongside Energy Access Explorer, EAE, that we deal with quite a number of tools that are open source. And yeah, basically, that's it. I've had quite a number of training in those particular two tools, from together with CCG, climate compatible growth. The WRI itself, at least, have been able to train over 200 people, including university students, that is bachelor's, graduates, PhD students, master's students, a few professors, and then also we have what we call the utility sector, the utility stakeholders in Uganda. That is called the energy sector working group. So I've been able to train most of those groups of people and into those particular two tools because they use a lot of them practically daily in their applications of work and research, etc. So basically, that's it about myself, and I think we'll get to the presentation. That's fine. Okay. So did we get to know how many people are into have maybe a background of GIS and all that? I don't know, but you have that?
Not here. You know, yes, you can give me access to the form and then I'll provide that data once we're done.
Oh, okay. So these I'm just going to do a presentation of the two and do a quick presentation of are you able to see my screen? Going to presentation mode. That's better, right? Okay, so I'll begin one with the Energy Access Explorer. So in this, in the presentation, it's mainly more of an introduction or introductory presentation to get you acquainted with these two tools, what they are used, where they are used, what they can be used, where they can be used, and which group of people can actually use these particular tools. Then I'll do a small demo on each of them, how each works. I think that will bring us close to the session today. So to begin with is Energy Access Explorer. Energy Access Explorer, which is EAE, mostly commonly called as EAE. And this is an open source. Why open source is because there are many other tools that could be used to do this same work that EAE can do, that are for payable, that are closed, that are closed-ended. So we frontier the word open source because together with the Mission 300 and all N-Access, this is the main thing they're actually pushing a lot to avail the tools that are actually to everyone so that they're able to do the planning, the modeling anytime they wish to. So in this particular, when we are talking about planning, modeling, and etc., we are, for this particular session, as you might see, we are only talking about open source tools. There are many other tools that can do the same, but we are not covering them because maybe they are not open source. So EAE is an open source tool and has a very big background of GIS, still GIS, which is open source when you work with QGIS, and not that GIS, so still compatible with QGIS as well. So it is built on a GIS platform, mainly N of the tool. So and it's a tool that was developed by a World Resources Institute, that is the WRI. So mainly for this, it's a tool that is mainly used for energy planning by different governments, different people that are involved in it. So it usually helps the governments, NGOs, researchers, private companies to make data-driven decisions when it comes to energy access. So usually the biggest challenge for this is you find there are very many ambitious goals and targets that different countries have. But with these targets, they don't have data like to inform whatever decisions they're going to make. So EAE is a platform that if you're an investor, if you're a researcher, if you're a government entity, or if you're a private company, and maybe you intend to plan out to improve energy access in a particular area, and then you don't have access to data and which areas maybe might need support, which areas might need this particular kind of technology. That is why actually Energy Access Explorer is there. You can actually access the platform and be able to do the planning from there. So you work from, instead of making the decisions without the data and then you find challenges, you go first to EAE, get the data from there, visualize from the maps that are there, and then you come back and do decision making on what areas you're going to focus on. So that's the main introduction about EAE. The main application it has, some of these applications, one it is up the people, these are the people areas that can where it can be used. One, of course, it is on the national and local energy planning, and some of these I've developed them based on what has already been done. There is more, but at least my presentation, it is what has already been done, and I can give you some of the references in case you're interested to that. But one is a national and local energy planning. EAE has been used widely for local and national planning to improve and increase energy access in different countries across the world. And most of the people that have used it, one, the ministries, those different countries, and also rural electrification agencies when they are carrying out their plans. So that is the first one. And if you want to check out on where it has been used on a national or local energy planning, one is Kenya, case study of Kenya, where they are actually Kenya is pushing so much to have decentralized country plans, electrification plans. So Energy Access Explorer is on the front line of aiding the planning for on the country level in Kenya. It has been used, I think, in Nepal as well. Nepal has used a lot of EAE to do their national energy planning. And also in Uganda, we are running out our first case study. From our end in Uganda is we are starting with a district. That is a decentralized district planning in Uganda to offer different plans, energy plans, covering the different technologies like grid extension, mini grids, and off-grid solutions. But also it's something that it's a tool that has been used by Ministry of Energy in Ethiopia and also in Nigeria. Actually, in Nigeria, it has been used before. So for Shalom and maybe the team from Nigeria, at least there is information about Nigeria. So at least in Africa, those are some of Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Nigeria, are some of the main countries where EAE has been used for national and local energy planning to inform the ministries, rural electrification agencies to make clear decisions. Two is a humanitarian and refugee settlements. So that is for areas still in Uganda. I think maybe I can talk about Kenya. Maybe let me talk about Uganda for this. It has been EAE in what we are doing actually. It is something we are trying to incorporate in to show areas in the refugee settlements, areas which are potential for mini grids, maybe solar systems, and also clean cooking solutions alongside the investment, productive use of energy investments. So for this, what I mean by this is maybe let's say you have a refugee agency or a development partner that is interested in increasing energy access in refugee settlements, and they don't have any details. So EAE has been used so greatly when it comes to decision making in the refugee settlements. Next is developing countries. Of course, those are regions that have energy access gaps. As we all know, Sub-Saharan Africa is one of those zones in Africa or in the world that has great issues with energy access. Also the South and Southeast. Actually, maybe you can say the global South. You can take it as a global South. This is where it is. It's a frontier. It is being frontiered to as a tool for planning. Next is a research and academia, which where you work from represents where actually we use it for. That is research and academia. So EAE is being used a lot by university students, by universities themselves. Case in point is maybe students at Strathmore University in Kenya. We have students at Bulu University in Uganda. We have students at Makerere University still in Uganda. Quite a number of students are adopting and are getting used to application of Energy Access Explorer in their research. But also still, it is a tool that we plan at the end of the day, particularly in Uganda, I can speak on that, is that we intend to push it so that it can be also for the master's students, for the PhD students. It can be a tool that can be included on their curriculum because it's a very good tool, more so on a master's level. So universities, research centers, I can call it maybe academia, any of those think tanks use a lot of Energy Access Explorer in their studies, research, and also policy analysis and making. And lastly, those are the private investors or sector. So companies that are into renewable energy and maybe want to have a mini grids, want to have mini grids, want to invest. They want to invest in solar home systems. So, and they don't know which areas they can actually, in maybe a particular country, let's say Nigeria, they are not sure which areas in Nigeria actually need access to mini grids, need access to solar home systems. Because if you don't do this, if you don't work with EAE, you realize that you're going a place, maybe you're investing, setting up a mini grid system that is maybe 1 kilometer away from the grid line. So you find that is going to be more costly, yet it would have been cheaper to extend a grid line to that place or that area where you intend to put a mini grid. So with EAE, it gives you all that visualization. You can see which areas are far from the grid and to what distance it comes, because it also gives you the distance that a school is far from the grid, gives you the distance that a hospital is far from the grid, gives you the distance, maybe the different commercial places actually may be far from the grid. Because in there, for every country, as we're going to see maybe in the demo, realize that for every country there exists a distribution line, transmission lines, hydropower plants, and also that you can get out to know the distance from each area you're interested in from the existing grid. So this is quite a very good tool that can be used so much by private sector or investors to identify viable markets and investment opportunities for that. That's about EAE and where it is used. All the users of Energy Access Explorer, one is energy access planning. So it helps you to identify communities without electricity and also clean cooking. Clean cooking is something that is being integrated into this. It is so far workable for Kenya. And for Uganda, it's something we are into the process of building because of the data. You have to first get the data and then upload it into the system. So it helps so much to map existing infrastructure. So as this explains what I'm saying, that it already carries in both the planned and existing grid lines, HV and MV, existing mini grid lines, existing solar home systems as well. So it can give you some of that information and which health facilities are electrified, which schools are not electrified, which health facilities are not electrified. All that data is actually in Energy Access Explorer. So if you're doing a planning for, let's say, socio-economic planning, maybe you're considering hospitals and schools, or health facilities and schools, and you want to know maybe in a particular area, let's say in Nigeria, how many schools are electrified and how many are not electrified. Those not electrified, where are they located? And then you go deeper to break down and now from where they are located, what is the distance of each school from the nearby grid line or from the nearby road system. So all that Energy Access Explorer provides that opportunity and that usability for that. Also, the next part of where EAE the users of the EAE is a productive use of energy pure. So for this one, I can talk about what we have done in Uganda, and I will demonstrate it. I think what I want to demonstrate, but mainly it is for productive use of energy is, for example, I will still use Nigeria as an example because I saw most of the people from Nigeria. So if you intend to, maybe let's say they're investors and they want to invest in productive use of energy, but they don't know which areas are compatible for maybe each of the different productive use of energy. Let's say solar irrigation, let's say cold storage, let's say solar drying, let's say milling machines, etc., anywhere. And recently now, it's a project we're actually working on at Creek, where I work is the integration of productive use of energy in a regenerative agriculture. So that's something we're also going to incorporate into that. So if you're looking for investment opportunities in Pure, so this is something EAE can do. And we did that and integrated it into EAE, and it is available for any investor. So if an investor wants to invest in solar irrigation systems in Nigeria, you can go to EAE and check which areas are potential sources or potential areas for solar irrigation systems, which areas are potential for solar cold storage in Nigeria. And then they put together areas and they can actually proceed with the investments, etc. So then it also links energy access with livelihoods and income generation. There is that component of relative wealth index on EAE. Next is healthcare and education facilities. I've already spoken about that. And then investment targeting and policy support. I think I've also spoken about some of this about the investments. So where to find it? If you want to find more about EAE, it's an open source. So through this link, it's an open source. So through this first link here, in www.energyaccessexplorer.org, then you are able to access Energy Access Explorer. But also, there is an open course for this same tool, Energy Access Explorer, Open University. If you plan to, maybe if you're so much interested into energy planning, if you're from Ministry of Energy in your country, Rural Electrification Agency, if you're a researcher, if you're a renewable energy specialist, any person, as long as you're interested maybe in planning and modeling, I would encourage you first step undergo this small course here. It's on Open University. The link is there. It's maybe depending on how fast you are, but should take you 1 month or less, maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks if you're consistent. You'll be able to at least to get the basics and maybe intermediate knowledge about Energy Access Explorer, and then you keep practicing it. So it's on Open University. Once you're done, they will actually give you a free certificate too. I encourage at least all of us that are here to get time and go to Open University and then be able to do it. You go to it. I think I will first stop here and demonstrate. Is that okay? Can I first continue with onset, or I can first finish up with EAE?
Anyone is fine. If you want to go ahead to demonstrate, or we could also take an introduction to onset and then go ahead later.
Okay, I think let me first do the demonstration for EAE. Just a quick one, just because of time, but I'll just do what it is able to do, what it can do, etc. Okay, so here I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, so when you want to access Energy Access Explorer, as I've said, it's open source. So you just come and type here in your Google Chrome or search Energy Access Explorer. So when you open it, This is what it brings you. So there are many down, but you should go for the one that has itself from the Energy Access Explorer website. So if you have your laptop there, maybe this could be an engagement. You can just do it quickly from there and check it out. Once you're done, let me check. Are there some people with laptops? Maybe. Let me see.
Do we have people who their laptops are accessible and can actually follow through? Yes, we do have people. Yes.
Okay, so if you have a laptop, from your end, you can type in Energy Access Explorer like I've done here. Once you're done typing, you open it. So I hope we are there. Follow from the chat section here. Anyone who has reached them, they can follow from the chat section.
Reach the landing page of the Energy Access Explorer. You can just do a thumbs up or send in the chat box. Yes. Yes. Someone has confirmed. Christine has confirmed.
Okay, so if it's more compatible on a laptop, not on a phone. So if you're using a phone, some features might not open. You might not see exactly what I'm seeing here. So it's more of a desktop version. So for phone users, you might not be able to see some details here as we're able to see on the laptop. So now for this is a whole user interface of Energy Access Explorer. And if you want to give the details about it, so EAE has two parts. One is a front end and then back end. So what all of us here have access to is the back end. It's a back end access, sorry, it's a front end access. So you're able to access any front end details for this. But if you want to have back end, then this particular one, you'll need maybe login details, maybe approving your account and all those other details. Just because back end involves quite sensitive things, because that is where you are able to upload the data from your country and then you visualize it on front end. You're able to adjust in case you have upgraded, maybe the distribution line has been upgraded in your country. You can come in the back end and actually update it also from there. So for now, we shall only talk about the front end part of Energy Access Explorer. We will not go into the back end because back end will need a lot of time for you guys and really to be a more technical. So I'll just take us through the front end. So you don't need to worry, you're not having access to back end because unless you're a utility stakeholder in your country, then there it is, you need maybe access to the back end. But if you're a researcher, planner, everything you need, the data is actually already there. So the data, maybe you might want to wonder, where do we get the data from for this? That data is gotten from, for every country that is here, it is gotten from all your utility stakeholders in your country. So this is EAE, the front end. This is when you're logging in, but you don't need to log in as well in case. So these are the different relevant publications about Energy Access Explorer. So this is the one, as I can see, application of GIS in subnational energy planning, like as in Kenya. So this has been done for Narok sub-county in Kenya, and also Makueni sub-county in Kenya as well. We're doing the same for Gulu district in Uganda, and I think we are in our final stages of our paper review, which will be published as well. Then what? This, in case you want to get different details about papers that have been released about Energy Access Explorer, feel free to come on their website. You will be able to access very many documents there. So allow me to go to, so if you're on your laptop, you can go to Explore Data here. If You can see this area here. Come to explore the data. So at least if you can see that, you'll see that here for now is only for Kenya, Ethiopia, Nepal, India, Tanzania, Nigeria, Uganda, and Zambia. So these are the main countries these are the main countries that at least work with for now EAE. Of course, the progress is ongoing for expansion to the different countries, but for now, at least these are countries whose data is available on Energy Access Explorer. As you can see on Kenya, if you come on Kenya, you can see where the data was gotten from. It was a collaboration between Strathmore Energy Research Center, EED, IKEA Foundation, national and subnational government agencies, etc. Same thing for Ethiopia, you're able to see. Nigeria, you can see it is a collaboration between REA, FCDO, Africa Clean Energy, Technical Assistance Facility Program, and then World Resources Institute. Uganda, you can see it is Energy Sector Working Group, and then IKEA Foundation and WRI. Tanzania, all the details are there. So wherever country you're from, in case your country is maybe not here, you can try to work with the other countries that are here. So for now, I don't know, which country do we try? Do we open Nigeria? Because they are the hosts.
We have different countries, but we do have Nigeria, Uganda. I think, let me leave it up for the first. Okay, so in the chat box, let's see who, Uganda. So they want Uganda. And then there's Rwanda too. Is this Rwanda? Or is this Ghana, Uganda's flag? I think this is Uganda's flag, right?
Okay, this is Uganda. Yes, this is Uganda. You see Nigeria. So, I think we'll do a quick one because of time. So, if you're from Nigeria, from Uganda, just tap on your flag. So when you tap, I will tap on Uganda, for example. So when you tap on Uganda, when you tap on Nigeria, tap on Kenya, it should bring something like this. So you choose your area of interest. What are you interested in? So these are the different things EAE can do. It can generate custom geospatial analysis based on your own criteria, can do strategic and integrated energy planning. It can do expansion of clean energy markets, impact investment, and then bottom-up assessment of energy needs. For now, since we are into planning, we will select the second one, strategic and integrated energy planning. So, but you can select any of your area of interest. So if you're a researcher or a student and you're looking for research opportunities, these are some of the areas you can work around. For example, expansion of clean energy markets in Nigeria, in Uganda, and then you're looking at visualization. So you come and open this, it will give you that. So when you open, for example, from that section, such a message will pop up, but ignore it, just say okay. Are we there? Okay, so if you open this, this is how it should be. Like, so let me get a heads up that
If you're also there, feel free to unmute and interact. This is going to be more interactive.
feel free to ask where you get lost. Sorry, my data is already on. Yours shouldn't have, because mine have been using it a lot. So some of my data, previous works are saved. Okay. Let me see. Anyone who is not there? Okay. Eunice, I don't know if you found this where we are. I'm lost. How did you reach those to those countries? Are you there? Eunice, you can reply in the section that you're there. You got it. Perfect. Okay. So are we at least, let me know if some people are where I am right now.
I see Christian is on the page. Eunice said she's with us now. So can we get more confirmation in the chat box? You can unmute, you can use an emoji too. All right, we have more confirmations.
So we have, when you open Energy Access Explorer and this pops up, you'll be able to see that at least one. We have this part, the first icon here, which is called Add Layers. If you pin tap on it, it's a plus. Near top left, it's called Add Layers. And next to it is Active Layers. So if you come on Add Layers, it should bring sensors, demand, supply, others, and all. If you come on Active Layers, it should display active layers that you have selected. So if you've interacted with QGIS, you know what I mean by layers. This should be quite simple for you, at least. So active layers, those layers that you have selected. For example, if I come on my add layers, and then I come to, let me say supply, and I want to add the global horizontal irradiation. When I add it and I come to active layers, I'll see it added here. Global horizontal irradiation. So any layer you add, you click and add, it will come on the active layers. So let's first skip that. Then this is a search features. If in case you want to search for any feature, you are able to search from there. Then top locations. These are the top locations for the data that you have put. So this one will not use it now. Then search POIs, still, this is in case you're searching for a particular location in your country. Then in case you want to change geographies, so if your country is divided in different regions or counties or what, you should have different counties. For example, if you're in Uganda and you want to check, your focus is on maybe northern Uganda, you come, once you've opened Uganda, you come to northern Uganda, or come to western Uganda, or come to eastern Uganda, like that. So let's say we are focused on northern Uganda and maybe Gulu district. So come to Acholi, locate where Gulu is, and the map of Gulu should be able to show from there. It will zoom out to that. But let's come back to the general country. So now, once we finish at least understanding these icons here, it is when we have understood most of the areas. So now we come to how to add data sets. As I've said, here you don't need to collect data sets. All the data sets are already in the back end of EAE, and they are available to you on the front end. So all you do is adding them, clicking them. As you can see, let me start with sensors, for example. This is the census data. So if you want to know lighting per sub-region, what is a sub-regional? Okay, I will skip some of these. You'll get time to them. Let me just use the generic ones that are common to all of us. One is population density. So if you want to add, and that is on demand. Of course, demand and supply, those two are different. Demand are those things that ask for energy. Demand for energy. Supply are the sources of energy. So when we are talking about demand and supply here, we're talking about energy usage. Both are from the areas that generate and those that consume. So demand, we have the consumers. One, we have the population, those are the people. We have the health facilities. We have the secondary school. We have night lights, and then irrigate agriculture crops. So investment prospectus pure projects, this is what we added recently by Creek. It was added by actually us. I personally added this. So if you check out on this, these are our demand data sets. For example, if you click, so if you want to add, you click on that arrow. So when you click on that arrow, these should appear on your side, on the map. Details should appear on your map. So how to read, going into details, I hope so. How to read, how to tell some of these. Maybe you can check different colors are here. So you come on my active layers, for example, and you can tell on this my active layers that intensity areas with a yellow, this sharp yellow, for example, here, are areas that have more than over 20,000 people per square kilometer. You can check here, this represents people per square kilometer. You get that? So areas that are in this light yellow are areas that have very many people. And if you're from Uganda, you can tell that this is Kampala, this is Gulu district, this is maybe is this Mbarara? At least you can tell those are hotspots for very many cities in the country. This should be Bale, Salt, etc. Then areas that have this deep purple are areas that don't have, that have less than maybe 1 people per square kilometer. So those are quite maybe areas near the lake, areas maybe that are off the grid. So you can see from Uganda, you're familiar with this part of north of Uganda here. But you can do the same for Nigeria, you can do the same for Kenya, Ethiopia, any country, Zambia that you're representing. Let me know if at least you can see some maps from your side. Some people.
If you've done something, you can take screenshots and share with us in the chat. Good. I see.
Yeah. So that is an example of how to add data on your side. So if you want to add more demand data, maybe you're comparing between population density and then health facilities, you can come and click health facilities here. So when you click health facilities, you will see you are not able to see health facilities well. So because this other population density is so thick, clarity is so thick. So if you want to adjust, you come back on your active layers and reduce the intensity of population density. I don't know if it makes sense. So how to reduce, there is this car, we check here, there is this car, X is for removing data sets. This arrow is in case you want to check the details where that data set was gotten. For example, if you want to know the source of the population density, you click on this arrow, the icon here, it will bring it download from the source. You're able to download the very data set that was used. So you come and click this third one here. So you reduce the intensity of population density. Maybe let's keep it there. Let me see. Is it working from your side?
I think
Yes.
maybe can we take it again? I think I lost. I was trying to figure out the Nigerian one.
Okay. Okay. So you can actually see from the data set for health facilities, you're able to see those that are on grid, those that are not on grid, those that are not connected to grid. These are off grid, maybe solar, all that, and then those whose data is not available. So it is differentiated by some of these colors. You're able to see. So if you're interested in those off grid only, you come and maybe deselect these other ones. But we're interested in both of them. See? I don't know, it is thick enough, but it can't. Okay, let me see if someone is there to that. If you've added health facilities, maybe you can also add the schools. And add the health facilities and schools here. So if you turn this off, you'll be able to see your facility here. Somehow Uganda's data is so compact. Okay. So I think you can maybe first turn.
Okay.
You can first turn off population density. You're able to see the schools. So if you zoom in, you'll see very many of them and health facilities. So there are quite many. So if you're interested in a particular area, you can come to that area and you're able to see the distribution of schools, facilities, and whether they are off-grid or they are on-grid. So for schools, you're able to see which ones are primary, which ones are kindergarten, which ones are colleges, which ones are universities. As you can see, the data is quite so detailed. At least it can help you so much in inform that decision making when you dig your plans. Okay.
How did you turn them to point?
Which one?
How did you make them dots instead of?
So if you see here how to make the points, you have data and analysis on your map. So you can play around analysis and then data. So if you want to see the analysis, you can come to this. And then if you want to see the data about that, you can see this is the data that was actually included there. If there's a question, my voice is too low. Really?
That's what I see in the chat box. Maybe if you can.
Okay, let me see. Maya, are you able to hear me? I don't know, because I'm a bit loud. Maya, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. So now if you can go and practice adding different data sets. For example, I'll do a simple scenario for this. Let me add maybe population density, then bring it down here. So if you're acquainted with QGIS, you can play around moving these data sets. Which one do you want on top of the other to overlay the other layer like that? So I can put my population density there, and then I can come and add any other data. So what am I interested in? So you can do your planning and analysis from Energy Access Explorer. So now once I've added my demand, I have population. Maybe let me remove density. Let me keep my demand is productive use. I have health facilities and I have schools. Those are the people I'm interested in to give electricity. So, and they need electricity. So what electricity are we giving them? We have to give them hydropower. So hydro and mini grid, wind, etc. You come to the supply because that's the supply of power. So come to supply, select one. When you're considering off-grid solutions, you must include the GHI, which is the global horizontal irradiation. Next, if you're interested in wind energy, you have to activate wind speed. Next is hydropower potential, small scale, that is maybe small hydropower. You can activate that. Now the infrastructure, I think we can work around the distribution lines. We can work with the distribution lines, we work with the mini grids, we work to accessibility to the cities, maybe we can ignore that, but and maybe distribution, you can check according to what you like. Distribution substations maybe, but if I have a distribution line, then I might not need a substation. So once I've activated all my data sets that I need to work with in supply, what I'm interested in. So for this, what you're saying is, I have my schools and my health facilities. I want to know which ones can I connect to grid. That is why we've added distribution lines. Which ones can I connect to solar? That's why we are adding a GHI, global horizontal irradiation. Which ones can we connect to wind energy? That's why we're adding wind speed. I hope it makes sense. So if you're not interested in wind, if you don't have wind potential in energy in your area, you deactivate it. So maybe if you're not interested in solar home systems, you deactivate. So you will stay with maybe distribution lines and mini grids.
Maybe can you take an explanation on, so someone asked the difference between the data and analysis part. So he said that the data part seems pretty clear, but the analysis, what's the difference between choosing data and
I will come to that to analysis later, because it's quite more a bit, has some other categories down. But let's first at least understand what I'm trying to show you is just analysis. So if you check down, if you check in the course of EAE, you'll find what we call a multi-criteria analysis. So EAE does multi-criteria analysis. You pass different criteria, come up with analysis, and then push it up to see what are the best possible ways. So now, as we can see here, maybe to go to active layers to show the data sets that we have, maybe let's say I want to bring my health facilities on top. I want to bring them as number one. You can move it there so that they don't hide. Bring my schools as well above mini grids. So at least my schools and my facilities are clear. Then I think I want to bring GHI is down, that's perfect. Yeah, so as you can see that from this, I have my demand, which is schools and my facilities. From my schools, I've selected primary, kindergarten, colleges, and universities. So if your target is only universities in your country, you deselect the others and only keep your university. But for now, we can consider all. When it comes to health facilities, I have facilities that are on grid, facilities that are connected to off-grid solutions, then facilities that are not electrified. Then those whose data is not available. So they are varied by the different colors. Then when you come to mini grids, existing mini grids under construction and those that are at planning stages. Distribution lines have both construction, those that are under plan, that are planned and maybe under construction, and then existing grid lines. So then I have my hydropower potential areas, small scale, and then for solar, I have my GHI. So this is the data we're going to play around. Are we good to that?
Anyone on the same page? Okay, yes, Marvin is on the same page. More confirmation. Christine, Eunice, Maya. Oluwatobi, Eunice. Okay, Christine, where are you? Okay, but Eunice is following. I think we need Christine, can you selecting the data sets and all.
Okay. Oh.
The different are you looking at Nigeria, Oluwatobi? I'm also looking at Nigeria as well. Okay.
How is it for Nigeria? Is it different, or what? Whereas in different countries, the information seems different from what you're called. Oh, really? Is that true?
Yeah, I've been
How is it for Nigeria?
I've been posting some of the screenshots that I took on the chat box, in the chat
Is it
box.
working for Nigeria? First, let me know. Is it working?
For Nigeria, I got to the point where I selected the schools, the healthcare facilities, wind
Yes.
speed, hydropower potential, global horizontal irradiation. So maybe let me take a screenshot of that. But I wanted,
Oluwatobi, are you there?
yeah,
Are you on the
Oluwatobi,
same?
can you confirm that you
You're on
see
the
the
same
same thing?
page? Perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Christine is on last on selecting data sets and all. Okay. So I'm just using random data sets, but this can be applicable depending on what analysis are you interested in. So for my case, for this webinar, we are just only focused on, we have demand, the people who are demanding energy, or what areas demand energy. So when you're doing your planning of energy access, you firstly consider, we have to do what they call a load analysis or demand analysis. So you have population, those are the community people, health facilities, schools, and irrigation or crops, agriculture here. So night lights, I will leave the night lights and then relative wealth index for some other time maybe. But so for now, we are only considering that the power we are generating, what we are interested in is that to electrify all facilities to get the data about all health facilities and schools in Uganda. Are they electrified? Are they not electrified? So for us to know, you click both of them. So once you've finished the demand, you come to supply, and you're able to know what do I plan to supply my facilities with? I have solar energy, I have hydropower. If you have wind, you select it, but we don't have a strong wind in Uganda, so I've deselected it. Then we have distribution lines, that is for electricity, hydropower electricity, and then mini grid. So this hydropower potential is for small hydropower or mini hydros. But this is now the real hydropower, the general one for dams and all that. Okay, so once we have that, then let's see if you're there. How can you hide the part of the report so that I can view the countries as well? Which report have you been? Perfect. So I see Watobi is there. Edwin, let me see. Edwin, I think, is also there. Then I'm trying to get this person. How it has been fetching data. I guess it's, yeah, it should be network. It should be network. Okay, I think I know it's quite an interesting session, but I don't even think we're going to do concept because of time. Okay, so once we are there, now we are going to play around this data. Anyhow you want really. Anyhow, so at least, bigger picture, at least we have gotten this. So for example, if I want to check, let's say for Uganda, as an example, so you can come and maybe, let me first deactivate this. This is okay. Into this. I'm going to zoom it a bit after. Let me first. Okay, let me first deactivate this. At least when you deactivate GHI, it gives some clarity. So for example, if I am focused, you can maybe, if you're from Nigeria, you can go to what? Your states that you have. To go to your states, you go to change geographies here. I don't know, maybe Ibadan, I don't know, Lagos, Benin, whatever. So you can, once you come here, for example, for Uganda, I'll use the one that I'm familiar with, that is Gulu. So this is my Gulu focus area here. And if you want to activate you can see that the boundaries are not there because we didn't put the boundaries. So to add the boundaries on a district boundaries, all that, you come to here, administrative boundaries. So you can add region, add a district, and maybe sub-region if you're interested. So there you can see the boundaries come. So what I was interested in is this district. This, if you see before, the boundaries, nothing was there, but the moment you activate that mean boundaries, then you're able to see that particular area. So I'm going to bring it back up because it's already up. Okay. So I think I'll bring it, do need the region, neither do I need the sub-region. So I'll bring this maybe there. Or maybe bring it down. I can keep it there. So as you can see now that so you're able to see at least from the map here, you're able to see which school is the distance. This is, the blue is a grid line. So you can see that, for example, if you're doing a plan for Gulu, that from here to here, this, for example, this school that is here, for example, this school is about a very big distance from the nearby grid system that is here. So if you're doing a planning, you don't say, we are going to extend electricity to this school in this part of the country. No, because it can't work technically. So you have to go, because the cost of grid extension from this grid line, existing grid line to the nearby to the school, the demand is very expensive. So now this is where you need that for this area here, that is maybe 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers from the grid, 10 kilometers from the grid, then you have to go for what? You go for off-grid solutions. So this is what we bring in now, what? Our mini grid, our solar home system. So if you're looking for areas that are potential for solar home systems and mini grids, these areas that are about 10 kilometers from the grid and the potential areas here. And you can, it's the same thing. Maybe I don't know if I will have time to show you the case study for this, but it's the same thing for this. But now when you come to this side, when you come to this other area, this other side here, you'll find so if you come to this other part where the grid is strong, you realize that if I want to maybe extend electricity to this facility here, this, it is maybe I can say what, less than maybe 1 kilometer from the grid. So here you can't suggest this an off-grid system on this area because the distance, the cost of extending electricity from here to this would be cheaper compared to when you set up an independent mini-grid system. You get it, huh? So you can keep planning. So this, as I've said, it gives you visualization for informed decision making, and also in your planning, whatever plans you're doing. Same thing. So you come back and check areas within the grid. Those ones you can maybe, depending on the distance from the grid line. You can see some of these areas are quite. So same thing maybe for the same district. If you come this other part further from the grid line, maybe this area, you realize maybe for this area, these are areas you have to consider for solar home systems or mini grids because they are maybe over 7 kilometers from the grid line. It's quite more technical if you go to the modeling. So I will choose to stay on the planning just on the front end of it. Yeah, so basically, this is it for now about this. It's quite simple. And maybe if you're looking at this grid line, I think there is another distribution. Okay. If you want maybe this school, you can see it is nearby this other grid line that is off the district. So it's maybe better to get electricity from this nearby grid line. So next is, are we all there to that? Let me see. Any questions? Yes, it's still loading up. Okay, Edwin is back. Eunice, I think, is also back.
So Eunice, yes, that's okay.
Yeah, so
I was wondering, how did you, does the district appear for every country or is specific to Uganda?
when you come to, do you have change geographies here?
Okay.
Come to
Yes,
change
I do.
geographies. I
Okay.
think, let me run the same for Nigeria, maybe.
I see for all the states.
You can see for the states. Huh?
Yes.
It should be the same, I think, quite the same for Uganda, but different names.
Okay. Okay, now I understand. So I have to go into the local government, into the different, okay.
Yes, perfect. Have you been able to add the boundaries of the district or your states?
Not yet.
So if you want to add them, you come to add layers. I think it should be in others.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in others here when you come to others.
Okay,
So in
okay, okay.
others, you have administrative boundaries. Where there's administrative.
Okay. Okay.
So you can be able to activate them according to what you prefer.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So Edwin, for Nigeria, it's okay. So you can work with your states, you can work with your local governments, you can work with your towns, depending on your area of focus. This is depending on your area of focus. So I believe it is, do we have someone else from, someone from Zambia? Are they still on? I don't know. Okay, but at least I believe we can play around that. So once we have that, then we are able to come back to add layers and then, so let's say you're looking, now we're going into now the planning part of it. So let's maybe come to the second.
How did you get the others?
How did I get the others? Come to add layer, this plus, top left, come to plus, and then come to the sensors, demand, supply, and then other.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Welcome. So we come to, we are supposed to now do the planning a bit. So now I'm going to show us how it works. For example, if you're planning, now I've zoomed in a bit so that everyone can see. So let's say we are interested in schools. So the schools data has data from for schools that are, you can see it is proximity in kilometers. So it goes to schools that are about 250 kilometers. You get, so that is proximity to a grid. So any school that is at least beyond 250 kilometers is not captured in this. What is the distance for Nigeria? What is included in your Nigeria data?
Do you mean the icons on the proximity?
Yeah, you see this? There is a 0, which is the minimum, and then the maximum, which is 250.
We also have 0 to 250.
Perfect. So let's say you're interested in only schools. For example, if I come to my map here on my district, I can see my distribution line moves maybe a bit in the middle of my district. So averagely, every area is not maybe about, let's say, 20 kilometers from the grid. Or if you're only interested, now if you're a planner, or if you're an investor, or if you're a researcher, and you're interested in only those schools that are, because let's say you're saying like this, if a school is at least 5 kilometers from the grid, that school deserves to be connected to the grid, but you don't know the details. So you come and say, I'm interested in schools between 0 and 5 kilometers. 0 and 5 kilometers. How to adjust that? Maybe you can, I think, move this here. So it should take you to 5 kilometers, but maybe, yeah, 5 kilometers. Let me keep it to 20 for now. So the data will adjust to fit to the schools that are for 20 kilometers, within 20 kilometers. Oh, sorry, I'm using health facilities instead of this. Yes. So let me say for schools, I'm pulling up to those that are maybe what? It was even 5 kilometers. So I can cut my schools to maybe what? 50 kilometers, or maybe let me say 30 kilometers. So any school in 30 kilometers will be considered in my analysis, like that. So at least from your end, you should be exposed to those, at least the facilities will start reducing a bit if you have a bigger distance. But if you have a smaller distance, they might stay the same. Okay, you get that? Perfect. So even mini grids, even distribution lines, wherever kilometers. So if you're interested in distribution lines, it's the same. Are we there to that? If there's a question, nothing in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Edwin said yes, he got the proximity setting.
So that I want to say what I understand, so that I don't get it wrong. So we just said the school, sorry that I'm just breaking in without raising my hand, but we just said the school proximity to 30 kilometers average. So if there are schools that are below 30 kilometers, we'll have an indication for not two of them, but one. Is that the case?
I beg your pardon again?
Okay, I was explaining what I understand by the proximity setting. You just said that for the schools to 30 kilometers right now for where we are looking at. So if we have schools that are the distance between them is 10 kilometers, we will not have an indication for two schools, but rather we'll have for one. Is that the case?
For this, we'll have, if you set your proximity to 30 kilometers, the map, the tool will only consider schools that are that are between 0 to 30 kilometers. So schools that are out beyond 30 kilometers from the grid won't be considered in your analysis. It means you're not interested in them. It will only consider schools that are within your defined distance kilometer of 30 kilometers. So any school that is maybe 31 kilometers, 32, 35, or 100 will not appear in your analysis because you excluded it. Does it make sense?
It makes sense, but how do we reference that space? Do we have a reference to say this is the beginning of where we are looking at, or is just what is showing on the screen?
Okay, perfect. Now, for example, if you're doing, again, I will take back to you because this, what we are trying to focus on is for planning. We are planning to inform decision making. If I zoom to my particular district, which is Gulu, here, for example, you can see, and I'm looking for, I am interested to electrify, maybe an investor comes and wants details about any schools that don't have electricity, but are maybe 10 kilometers from the grid. Maybe they are willing to extend grid for all schools that are less than 10 kilometers from the grid. So I come to EAE and define that. You get, I reduce this maybe to 10, further to 10, let's say 10 what? 10 kilometers. When I reduce this 10 kilometers, it will what? It will be able to give me details of all those schools and where each is located. I will show you the part of the locations and all that. So any school that is above 10 kilometers won't be considered in my analysis. So how you get the 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 30 kilometers, it depends. Those are details that you can customize according to your analysis, according to your plans.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we good to that? Okay, welcome.
Yeah.
Let me take it back to 30, maybe health facilities. We can take it to 100. So now, once we are there, it should be like this. So once we're here, now we want to see our analysis, for example. We have set our distribution line, we've set our mini grids, set our schools, our health facilities, etc. So for mini grids, you can, for example, tell that I have a mini grid here. That's how they are located. They are marked here. You can spot a few of them in your country, at least. The more you zoom out is the more you see more. Come back to my district. So, okay. Now, when you come to top location, I think you can, it is here, the part top locations. It is. So when you come to top locations, you'll be able to see this area. But maybe before top locations, let me first hide all this. Transfer this here. I want to know the details about this particular school. For example, this one. So for you to know, you should touch here and then come. You see, it works. Yes, perfect. So if you want to know the school names, there is this icon here on your map here. There's a plus minus. So you're also able to change I think the map to the global. So it should have a background. Then when you come on this icon, when you tap on it, it should bring a plus, not a cursor. And you want to know the name of this school here. So you can be able to actually prove some of those things in your report. So you can see, for example, this is the school. It is called maybe Pokogari Primary School. It's a health facility, sorry. It is a health facility. It's 5 kilometers. The level is primary health facility. And I think this is a school. It is a school, sorry. Primary school, it's a primary school. Then it is less than, let me see, health facility. So the nearby health facility to this school is 5 kilometers away. The nearby school is maybe 1 kilometer. The nearby hydropower potential is 9 kilometers away. Distribution line, the nearby distribution line is 4 kilometers away. The nearby mini grid is 25 kilometers away. You get? So if you're doing a plan, you will see its coordinates and the location. I think it should work the same. So if you're doing your plan, you'll be able to tell that, oh, according to this, this school is 4 kilometers away from my distribution line. So it is 25 kilometers away from the mini grid. That means maybe mini grids are not possible in that area, but it is also 4 kilometers from my distribution line. So it means it is easy to extend grid to this school using my electricity or from the distribution lines. Does it make sense? Let me see if someone has tried that out. And so you can see this is maybe the 4 kilometers from this. What it is trying to express here. Let me see if I can get a hospital. Is this a hospital? Still a school out of this. Interesting. I think the city should have a school. A hospital, sorry. Let's see if I can get a hospital. Still a school, there are many schools. Okay, let me first deactivate that. The school so that we can try it out for the hospital. Oh, I have one facility. So you can see the name of the facility. It is its name. So for health facilities, these are the details. It has the name, the ownership, electrification status. So you're able to see that this is a health facility. It is 1 kilometer, less than 1 kilometer from the distribution line, and it is maybe 60 kilometers from the mini grid. So it's not necessary, but you are able to tell that this is electrified already. Okay. Okay. So at least you're able to define some of those things from like that. So I think we'll have to conclude this. So once you have that clear, we shall come back to maybe activate this. We'll come back to our top locations so that we're able to see what details are there. So when you come to top locations, you'll see that 100%, at least the coordinates where it is 99. This is, you're able to zoom. Aswa Primary School, It is somewhere here. So these are your your top locations that need attention first. So you can see 100% according to that. Still, this gives you all the details. So those Pogakori, I think it is close. That is according to the degree of an electrification of that. So you can see which ones can you prioritize. So if you're an investor, a researcher, you can see it gives you top 20 results. And it has given you the first result is this. This one is partly this, etc. So you're able to see some of those details. Okay, for now I'll stop at that for that side. Summarize. I'll come and play around analysis and demand. So if you're doing research or planning all that, this is enough. You might not need to go to the analysis side, but you go to the analysis if you are now coming this other side. So you are able to see that from the analysis here, areas within the grid, along the grid lines, have been excluded from those that need support. You can see this because those are close to the grid. But anyway, beyond that is when you come to analysis, we have this area of energy access potential. So we have energy access potential, we have the demand index and supply index. So if you want to consider both, you tick. Then now for analysis, we have raster analysis, administrative, but mainly we usually work with raster analysis. Basically, so when you want to go for analysis, you go to analysis. If you want maybe this kind of map appearance, you're not interested in particular locations. You want to show maybe this is area share and population share. So areas, if you're doing analysis, you can see that areas, these areas where it is dark, really Bambi, they are like no people, you can tell here. So they are less of focus. So areas where it is strong, where there are more people, you can tell here that for areas where it is this color, we have over 72.2% maybe population share. So these are areas you have to prioritize in your consideration. So any area that has this color is an area that has to be considered. And you can see that the school is located there. Those are different points. If you go into the technical bit, you know what pixels are. Pixel kind of data, but it's not good. But this map is represented in pixels. If you zoom to this, you can actually come to cluster layer to that. This is a cluster data set that has a pixel files in it. So this analysis helps you to know which areas am I going to focus on according to your analysis. Once we are done to that, then you are able to either save the analysis, but in order to save analysis, you might need to register with us. So you can register. You can register first or log in. So you might not be able to access the report if you are. Let me see, export presentation, let's see if it can work. So you might not be able to access the report if you're not registered. So to register, come and select register. Register with what? Register with all this. So your user account, this is user account. You can say your first name, last name, email, organization, your job title, your area of interest. What are you interested in? The city you're located and the country you're from, and the gender. Once you're done, you submit. So when you submit, maybe Sharon, you can let me know the people that have submitted, so that I can talk to a guy who works in the back end to give them access. But I think when you submit, they will send you login details. So your email, you'll follow those steps, etc. But for me, I think I will come to login since I can't have an account. See?
Everyone that has followed, you're encouraged to register on the platform. And once you register, send me your name. You can send it now, you can send it after the class so that they can grant you access to download your presentation.
That is for those it fails to work for. If they fail to give you like details, all that.
Yeah. If no one responds to you and your registration is not approved, reach out to us and I'll just send the name to Pecos and he will help get you approved.
So once I'm done, I'll come and download the report. Okay, export my presentation. So I log in. Okay. So once you're done logging in, I think it will tell you to, I think you might have to start afresh. So usually it is better you log in first before doing the work. So I'll do it quickly because I've logged in. So when you log in, you should see this part called My EAE. So quickly do this. Okay, let me leave population density. Let me leave wind speed. Let me leave it as it is. Let me maybe come and adjust my schools to my maybe back to maybe 40 kilometers. Come back and select my schools to 40 kilometers as well. Perfect. So maybe I can remove the irrigation. What else can I remove? Yeah. So you can see that in data side, it looks like this. So when you have more data, if you want to check your data sets, pinpoints all that can always come to data, but analysis, this is the best. It gives you quite visualized maps for that. So now once I've done, I'll come and download my report here. Come, I think, as a PDF for let me see, export. So this is a summary table. So this is like you come and export the presentation. So once my presentation is done, I'll open it to show you what it has brought. Perfect. Are you able to see the new presentation?
I'm still trying to get myself confirmed since I'm just creating an account first.
Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
You can see what I'm sharing.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So this is how the report it generates for you looks like.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so Energy Access Explorer report Uganda. So it's a report summary. You can see what you selected, how it works. So these are selected demand index datasets. So you can see I selected population density, health facilities and schools, the units, ranges, so you can see I reduced my selected range of 40 kilometers as max. Population density, it was 20,000 people per square kilometer. And then this is what? This is a selected supply index datasets. So these are the supply. Then this is now the summary of the report. So this is the analysis maps, the demand index, etc. Energy access potential. This is, it gives both demand index, supply index, and then energy access potential. And then assistance need index. So this is in case for those areas that need assistance, which areas are need high assistance, etc. Top locations, so areas with high energy assistance. EIA was what? Should be energy access, energy assistance need index here, should be that. So you can see that those are, yes, please.
You sharing the exported screen? Oh, I think what we still see is the EAE interface.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just realized it. So
sorry about that. I thought I was sharing the screen.
okay. Oh yeah, now we see.
Oh.
Yes, we can see this your slide, the report slide.
You can see my report.
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, sorry about that. I thought I was presenting. Icons. So I'm in presentation mode. So this is how the report comes out. Energy Access Explorer, report Uganda, report summary, what you selected. So it starts with the selected what? Demand and so these are my demand index data sets, then my supply data sets. So but summary to that, the demand index. So you can see that in the demand, general should be different. Number of schools where demand is medium, high, or high. These are the ones. Number of healthcare facilities where demand is medium, high, or high is this. Population where demand is medium, high, or high. This is the population. So you're able to get the different analysis from the report. And then supply index, average wind speed is that average global horizontal irradiation, the number of supply points, transformers, and that etc. You're able to see that. And you're able to see that approximate number of people living with 1 kilometer of an electricity line. Those are the people in Uganda. And then energy access potential. See that approximate amount of people living in areas covered by the analysis, 17. Approximate amount of people living within is that amount of schools and healthcare facilities in area covered by analysis. So this is from my 40 kilometer proximity kilometer radius. These are my schools that I captured maybe. Assistance. So it's the same story. So now I wanted to focus on top locations. As you can see here, that locations with high EAI index, that is should be. If I'm not sure, it should be. Is it economic advisory initiative, or I'm not sure very well, but it should be energy access, maybe index. I could check it out later. But from these potential areas, you'll see that it gives you areas that have the highest need, for example. So the first ones you'll see, if you're looking at investment, one, you check that the region and also where all these are allocated. So it gives you top 20. I think this is the same. So high priority locations for energy interventions, demand index information. So energy interventions, these are the areas maybe where they are located. It gives you where it is located. Sorry. Gives you where they're located, those that actually need the highest intervention. It picks up the top 20 locations of that from your analysis. So basically, that's it about EAE. I know for now it might look quite complex, but it's actually an easy tool.
Yeah,
You can't
definitely.
see. You can't see my report. Let me see. Oh, that was before. Okay.
Yeah, we followed through.
Okay. So basically, that's it about EAE. I encourage you to go and take on that course. At least it should give you a heads up about what EAE is all about. So I'll share the link for the course there. Oh, send to everyone. The link for the course, Open University, and also in case you need access energy access explore.
Okay.
It is there. Yep. Thank you. I think because of time, honestly.
Yeah, it's about 13 minutes remaining. I was wondering if we could just breeze through the onset just to, I mean, it doesn't have to be so in-depth again, just to breeze through onset, maybe the demonstration part.
Isn't that too much content?
Oh, I'm thinking since, put it out there for the boats,
Because
just,
onset is a more complex one. EA is the simplest.
okay,
Onset is maybe let me just share what onset has case study, just a case study,
okay.
just a small case study of where we have used onset, just what we have done. I think I have it EMP. Well, I'm going to share, let me see. I'm going to share what I used the onset for. Okay, from my recent energy modeling platform, my presentation, from the
Okay.
recent energy modeling platform. So I'll just be quick to show you just roughly what onset is able to do. Go detail. Are you able to see my screen? Okay.
It doesn't show us, okay, start slideshow. Okay.
Okay.
I see it now.
So this is my presentation I just made about, you can see my title was Modeling Uganda's Path to Universal Electrification by 2040, Least Cost Approach. So onset did all that. So let me just go straight to the map. So this is what onset delivers. For example, if you check my map here, Uganda's least cost onset scenario, you can see from what it delivers, it gives you models and scenarios. So and that is in data sets, then you later come back and do the maps. So you can see that it gives you areas. Now this one shows you areas that are potential for solar home systems. You can see it is a yellow. Areas that are potential for grid extension, areas that are potential for PV hybrid mini grid, those are mini grid systems, and then existing grid areas where for grid densification. It also suggests a new medium voltage line by 2040, administrative boundaries, etc. So that is what you can, maybe from the summary here, you can see that it also gives you investment plans. So from my data set, you can see that my scenario one, $11.06 billion is required for investment by 2040, with a total capacity of 1,383.69 megawatts added and 11.2 million new connections are made. So this is, it does the modeling by 2040, depending, you can customize it according to what you want, but that is quite detailed. And then also it shows you 52.8 million people will be connected to the grid by 2040. 13 million people are connected to off-grid options by 2040, and also 20 new mini grids are added to the sector or to the system. You get that? So this is a summary, for example, of what it gives. Then let's see. So this is first grid. So there are different options. You can see this is least cost approach, nationwide least cost approach, and then post grid. So this is an example of what's the post grid. Post grid is you're forcing anyone, you define the kilometers. Anyone, let's say within 5 kilometers, you force the scenario or the analysis, the model to connect everyone to the grid. So I wish I could show more in detail, but if you check the difference with this is that you can see more yellows here and there is less yellow and more blue. Why? Because we have a more grid extension and solar home system. So I know you won't understand much more about concepts because I'm not going to go into details, but I'm just trying to show you that how these two work. So once EAE is that once you've done the planning and all that, you've gotten the data from EAE, or you come now and use onset to do the modeling part of it. I hope it makes sense. Okay, let me, are you guys still Are you guys still attentive? Shalom, you might be the only one here.
Actually, someone asked if the onset is free. See, Edwin is giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, onset is open source.
Yes, I thought that the same thing.
Onset is also open source. Let me just share what really. I don't think we are going to go to detail honestly because that guy takes a lot of time. But let me just share this about onset. So this is the onset stroke the global electrification platform. How it works, it is an open source tool. So onset stands for open source spatial electrification tool. It is a least cost electrification modeling tool. It helps planners, researchers, governments figure out how to achieve universal electricity access by comparing the costs of different technologies. Yeah, so it does that kind of modeling. About on-site, it is used by national electrification planning, regional and global energy outlooks, and national planning researchers. Uses of on-site, it is used in list cost electrification analysis, where you compare grid extensions, mini grids, standalone PV systems. It also helps you to identify the least cost options. Least cost options. Then scenario planning and policy testing. So it models different scenarios. So where you have a universal access by 2030, SDG7, which I think adjusted to maybe 2040. Renewable energy versus fossil-based expansion, high versus low demand growth, different financing for policy assumptions, and then investment options. Where to find it, in case you are interested in this concept, it's the same link here. I'm going to share it in the chat. But there is an open front end, if you're really front end user. So you can talk about this when you just make sure it. So you have to take more. This is the shortest time. So you come to your search, you search like global. This is the front end, not the back end, global electrification platform. Brings this. So you still go to that website of the global electrification platform, you open it. So once you open it, you'll be able to what? To see this global electrification platform. This is the front end, just like EAE. So it is used, it has two models used by 58 countries. So what you do is you want to expand. So you start exploring, come and start exploring. It's quite used in many countries for it. As you can see, very, very many. So you can search for a country. Let me know if you guys are on where I am. I might leave you.
Yes,
Is
can we
anyone-
explore Nigeria?
Yes, please.
Sir, can we explore Nigeria?
Okay, yeah, we're going to try Nigeria, sure. Okay, so once we are here, we come to, where is Nigeria? It is here. So when you come to Nigeria, we have onset climate, onset version 2. So usually the most latest update is it has this external platform allows users to dive into settlement level details for planning for distributed renewable energy. So we can maybe ignore this. This model is developed using open source full access source code. For more information, so I think we'll go with this, the concept. This is developed, so this is a more updated version for this. So we'll go with this updated version, climate 1.0. This is version 2.0. So I think we can work with this one. We'll explore Nigeria here. That's Nigeria for you. When you check for this, it has scenarios for it, so it already gives you the scenarios. So as you can see in the scenarios that we have a bottom-up demand, we have top-down demand target, top-down demand target high and low. So you will try it out really, get more details of that. But really, a small explanation of what each of these represents is a small representation of what each of these represents is that one, bottom up, depending on your demand target. What is your demand target? Is your demand target maybe looking at bottom up demand is like, I will refer you to what we call the multi-tier framework. Something that was invoked by World Bank. It shows you the breakdown of the different demand targets. We have tier 1 up to tier 4, tier 5 actually. So you can see here, it is U5 R3. So U5 R3 means U is for urban, R is for rural areas. We're giving urban areas 5, tier 5, and rural areas tier 3. So tier 5 is the highest tier, so it means it has a lot of energy demand. Tier 3 is rural areas, maybe. Tier 3 is medium average. So, but it has. If you check on what? If you check on the energy, the multi-tier framework, you'll be able to check, be able to see actually the tiers, how the tiers actually grouped up. So bottom up demand is you're looking, it has more of 1 and 2. 1 is just basic lighting. So if you're distributing electricity for basic lighting and phone charging, that is 1. That is tier 1. If you start going to, when we go to tier 2, that is where we find maybe you have salons, you have video places, you have maybe what? I think, let me see. You have a few schools there that demand less electricity. So usually tier 1, that is, those are areas that maybe take about 30 kilowatts per annual, that is annual, or less than that. Then we go to tier 2, you go into maybe about 50 kilowatts per year. Then that is the demand. You go to tier 3, you find you're in 150 kilowatts per year, like that. So tier 3, that's when you'll find irrigation, you'll find the productive use of energy, you'll find milling machines, you'll find SMEs in there, you'll find a lot of at least some of those things in tier 3. Tier 4, you'll find now everything there, but now you can check it out at least on that. So those are the different demands. So let's say I'm interested in U4 and R1. Rural areas, I am only extending electricity to rural areas for lighting and charging. That is R1. But urban areas, I want them to, in the next 10 years, I anticipate that in urban areas, this area will have grown to whereby maybe everyone is using flat irons, electric cookers, ACs, maybe their machines, etc. So I come and activate this. For example, I activate that. So I leave and go to social and commercial uses. Social and productive uses demand has schools, healthcare facilities, and then productive use also, and agriculture. If you want to only consider residential, you only come and take residential only. But for now, we can consider schools, social and productive use of demand, then carbon price. Are you costing your emissions? If yes, this is a fixed cost for now in the open source. If you want to access the adjust, then you have to use the back end, the different data. Then PV system cost. This is expected PV cost. This is, do you think the cost of a solar PV in your country will be at the current cost, or it will have lowered down by 50%? So for this is a bit fixed, but if you want to have more details, the back end offers the different options. So let's say that by 20, so for this, it models it has different options from 2025 to 2030. So by 2030, I can say my PV system will be at the current cost. So I put it at expected cost. Intermediate investment plan. What are my intermediate investment plan? We have capped connections or not capped annual connections. So usually for this, we can maybe leave it open. We can say, I'm not capping my connections. So you find, anyway, for now, let's not go into details. The rollout plan. So this is the least cost, if you remember it in my presentation, and then first grid. First grid is this grid connection within 2 kilometers. So it will only force grid to areas within 2 kilometers. Areas outside 2 kilometers will be considered for least cost options. Those are off-grid connections. Does it make sense? Perfect. So once you're done setting that up, you will try it out. At least you will check it out easy. Then you come and filter. You come to filters there. So filter, you have your cluster population cluster area, and you have your technologies. These are the new technologies you can keep depending on what you're interested in. Are you interested in existing grid, new grid, mini grid, wind, etc.? Distance from existing MV line. What are you interested in? Let's say we consider those with let me put 5, for example. 5. Okay, Nigeria, how is your grid system? Is it very much, or it is distributed?
It's distributed.
So we increase, maybe, do we do 20 kilometers from the grid? Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Distance from the existing road, we can keep it at that. Investment cost per capita, we can keep it at that. So now, these are admin 1 regions. So if you're in which, do we sample out a region or we go to the whole country? Because I see Abia, Abuja.
We can see the whole country then. And I think it was Rasak that specifically asked for Nigeria. Which country, which states do you want us to look at?
You're asking me or someone who stayed in Nigeria?
Ogun State.
Ogun State?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one is that?
Ogun State.
So
if you take
what
it
you do
by
is
little, it should be
what you do is you first click this one, so it will deselect all the rest, the first one.
Okay.
So you come and look for the other one. It is OG, this one.
Yes, yes.
So once you've ticked it,
Yes.
you come and deselect this other first one. So you'll have that, at least you have only Ogun State is ticked. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So once you're done, at least you're sure your scenarios are set. You've set a top-down. What is the state of Ogun? Is it like dominated by rural areas or urban areas?
I'd say
It's a mixture.
It's mixed, yes, because the industries, so, but
is it a fast-growing city? Is it a fast-growing state?
Not really. You mean the industry?
We are developing.
Maybe the question could be.
There's an upcoming airport.
Okay.
So I
the
think
question could be, in the next 5 years, by 2030, do you think most of the people in urban areas will have maybe have ACs, all those things that consume a lot of electricity? And also, are we taking rural areas to only lighting, or we can say even rural areas, we might have milling machines, we might have a lot of demand in rural areas? How would you consider it?
In the next 5 years?
Yeah.
Yes, in 5 years.
There can be improvement because actually here, the energy supplied is not enough. It's not.
Okay, so let's test it out, for example, because I wanted you to understand this demand part because it is the most important. So when I say I select top-down demand target low, U4R1, I am meaning that urban areas, I'm giving them a high demand of 4. And what I mean is that by 2030, urban areas will be demanding maybe high energy. So that is tier 4. But when I say tier 1, I mean that all rural areas within Ogun State, the tool will consider them to only need electricity for light. So you'll find it will prioritize solar home systems in rural areas. You get it? But if I say I am doing rural areas will be having a higher demand of electricity, so you will see that the tool will have to decide to now extend grid to those areas. So for now, we take this U4 ROI for now. So once you're sure you've set your demand, your scenarios are set, you come and filter, and we have already filtered Ogun out, is here. So now you apply. You get, so before you apply, you can come and check this. So this scenario is customized to run from 2020 to 2030. So if you're doing to 2025, which has already passed, so that wouldn't be possible. So right now, you can practically run to 2030. Once you're done, you apply. It might take some time. Perfect. So this is the state of Ogun, for example. I hope this is the map of your state, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So you can see from what it has given you. Let me show you this other side. From what it has given you on electrification mix, you will see that existing grid, the blue is the existing grid, this one, and then standalone PV are those yellow ones. New grid connections are those this one here. You can see. So it means that this area within Ogun, Abeokuta has, I think, a stronger grid system. I'm sure maybe it is a city. I can tell it is maybe a stronger town in your state. And so these are areas where it is saying you have to extend grid. So where you see new grid extension here, where you see new grid connection, it would mean the grid line maybe passes by or it is nearby a grid line. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see a grid line here. But if I come, let me see if I try it out. I come and check. Fortunately, it is not here. Okay, it is here, satellite. So I can also do it from that satellite mode, for example. So you're able to check. So with onset, it's quite interesting that if I select out only this and I click on it, it will give me the people connected, investment required, and capacity. This is for only Abeokuta. You get it? So I come and select maybe another state. I don't know its name. Okay, it's not named. Let me select those that are named. So you can see these areas have a lot of solar, so standalone PV, because they are far from the grid. I'm sure if you check it out, these areas are all far from the grid. There's no area that is common. Let me see, there's this one here. If I tap on it, it is, this is the investment required, the people it will connect, and the capacity added. So this is what onset gives you really. You can do to a state, country, etc. So once I'm done with that, it will give me a detailed report. So for it, I come and where do I download from? I come and download my report here, PDF report. Download the PDF report. You keep exercising just because of that. Okay, for example, mine has downloaded. I'm going to share it, not to show you for Nigeria. See it. Okay, let me first get it home.
We saw it earlier after you downloaded it.
Oh, you saw when I downloaded it? Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to share my screen just. Share screen. You can see it, right? So Nigeria onset global electrification platform. So my year is up to 20. So when you see it is from 2020, it is customized from 2020 to 2030 technologies that it has identified. And then, so this is a summary of investment population. So you can see with onset, gives you this population breakdown. By 2030, 4.7 million people in that state will be connected to existing grid. This color is for existing grid, and this color is for new grid system, this one, and then this is solar PV. So 4.7 million people will be connected to, according to the scenarios we have set, 4.7 million people will be connected to grid, to existing grid. We need, we will have 396,000 people connected to new grid systems that we have set up. And the model suggests that 280,000 people are connected to solar PV systems. How much is required? You will need 873, it should be, I need to check, is it million or it is in, let me check, what is it in? It is in what? Billion. No, that is in, that is million. This is 1 billion, so it should be million now. Million, so this is 873 million. It should be, I think it should be $1 million. You can check it out. It should be $1 million. And then, so I will need $873 million. And this is the capacity I will add 282,000 watts. It should be kilowatts, I think, or megawatts. I think it is megawatts. Megawatts, that is big. That state is quite big. It has many people. How many people does it have?
5 million people.
No. I think the gentleman, how many people does it have?
Razak, do you know the current population in Ogun State?
I'm not sure. But I think we are more than 15 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay, so for this scenario, what you see as 5 million is what the scenario has, the people it has added to the grid or to solar home systems. Yes, at least over 5 million people have been connected to the grid or to solar home systems, and this is how much they need. So for Ogun State, they need over 1 billion, 1 point something billion. I think it should be dollars or million dollars. You can confirm that. So it shows you the setting that you set, and then basically that's it. So this is what onset offers. This part here. This part is what onset offers that EA doesn't offer. So you can see that both of them have to work the same, like they have to work together. You get it, huh?
Oops.
Does it have a return on investment or calculation? Return on ROI for the investment required?
No. So now what you do is you go, when you get this kind of investment, you go back to your, maybe your financial budgets of the country and see, according to Nigeria, this is how much money that has been given out for electrification in this, on average. This is how much, let me show you. I think I have it in my Uganda presentation. Do I have it? Fortunately, I don't. But see if I can get it for you. Just to show you. Okay, let me share my report here. So this is my report, not the report from the modeling platform. I'll take you to that part down. Perfect. So this is the investment. Did I consider that? This is the one. So for example, for Uganda, I did this for Uganda. So you realize that Uganda's investment, so for example, for Nigeria, you can find out how much money on average has been invested in energy access or sustainable energy development in Nigeria. So once you get that, for example, I got this. For Uganda, it was $285 million. That is a baseline. So you find that now from my scenarios, you get that, you divide by the years, for example. So on average, you will know how much money is on, how much investment is on grid, how much is on now the off grid. So this is out of the budget or private capital, the private investors. So this will guide you to show, because I'm sure, I don't know how it works for Nigeria, but maybe I'm sure that grid electrification is mainly dominated by government, right? And then off-grid connections are dominated by private investors and development partners. Again, so once you get your budget as 1 billion, I'm sure it is $1 billion, you'll come and put this, verse that with your investment plan for Nigeria. How much is maybe allocated to Ogun? Maybe if Ogun has been given maybe in the last 1 year, it got maybe $500 million, or let's say $200 million. You divide your 1 billion, divided your modeling by the modeling years, which is from 2020 to 2030. Those are 10 years. See how much is needed in each year. If that fits in the budget, that is an ideal, that becomes an ideal scenario. If it doesn't fit in the budget, then you go back and adjust the scenarios again. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
So it will guide you to show how much does the government need, that is grid investment. Now the balance after removing grid investment is what the private investors now come in, that's where they come in from. It will guide you, how much will the private capital investors actually be needed to invest according to my scenario. Basically that's it. Yeah. Awesome. Any other question?
Wow, this is awesome. Can we just put our emojis just to say well done to Pecos for an amazing presentation? There's just one in the chat box, and I'll allow just one more question because we've really gone out of time, and I'm so grateful to Pecos for staying till this time and taking us on this very extensive energy modeling class. So I see one from Marvin. She said, thank you for the presentation. She's I don't know if it is a he or her. I shouldn't have assumed that. But Marvin is a finalist from Gulu University Biosystem Engineering, and Marvin trained with CREEC last year. So the question is, are there available internship or graduate training opportunities currently at CREEC? So that's Marvin's question. If there's one more question, okay, you can go ahead to answer that, then I'll take the last question for today.
Okay, thank you. Marvin, I think right now, aren't you guys on SEM? I don't know. But if you're interested really to apply for internship again, right to, okay. Let's see. Are you a final? You said you are a finalist at Gulu University. Okay, so that means you're still in SEM. Is Enoch still here?
No, Enoch is not here.
Enoch is not here. But Marvin, you finished 4th year waiting for grad in November. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So what you do is let me send you my email here so that you can guide you what to do. Then does the webinar issue certificates? No, the webinar doesn't issue certificates, but the links I've shared of the courses.
Yeah.
When you're done undertaking both Energy Access Explorer and Onset on on Open University, you are given a certificate at the end of the session. You're able to get what? They offer you a certificate, and then which now at least to many have been acquainted with. You've acquainted yourself with some of these tools. All right. Thank you so much,
Steve,
everyone.
thank you so much. Thank you, Razak. I think it's best if you can connect via LinkedIn and try to ask the question so we don't take everybody's time. But I wanted to take a final picture. I've been taking lots of screenshots, but just a final picture for everyone. If you're comfortable, can you turn on your camera? Just 1 second, a final picture with everybody, and we'll call it a day. Pecos has graciously given his email address in the chat box. You can always make reference to this webinar, or you can connect with him on LinkedIn, the same name, and you can go ahead to ask your question. The same thing with Eunice. You can go ahead to ask him directly. Thank you so much for turning on your cameras. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll go ahead to take the pictures on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yes. It's so good to see our trainer again. So I will take another one for those that just turned on their cameras just now. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm taking everybody. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have this class with you. And like we mentioned in the chat box, the section will be uploaded on YouTube. And if there are further opportunities to energy modeling, just follow us on LinkedIn. You can write to us via email, and we'll provide more information for you. So to those that are looking for,
just
okay.
one more. Sorry, I forgot
Yes.
something. There is a energy modeling platform coming up in Nigeria. I don't know if you guys have seen it, by Climate Compatible Growth.
Oh, not the one in Nigeria yet, but I know that they've been doing a lot of workshops.
There's one in Nigeria, actually. They're going to be offering both onset and EAE plus other courses, but at least they'll be offering both those two. You can, let me try to get access to the details.
Okay. Yes, that would be awesome.
So if you guys can register, that would be very good. At least maybe they can pick some of you to Uganda. Some to go and represent maybe a few people. Let me get it here.
Oh, wow. I see it here. There's also CLAOS, Climate, Land Use, Energy, and Water Systems, Geospatial Data Management. Oh, wow. This is awesome.
Let me see.
I've seen the link. Yes, I've seen the link. Let me share this. We would also share with everybody that registered for this webinar.
Yes, perfect. This is the one. So kindly register for that and follow all the steps. It is coming. It is going to be in October. It should be in October.
Yes.
For like 2 weeks. 2 weeks or 1 week.
Yes, 6 to October to 17th. Yeah.
It will be a very, very good platform. It is free for actually. It is very free.
It is free. It is free.
Yeah,
Everyone,
so
it is free. Wow. But you have to be selected. Oh, it's okay. Wishing everyone good luck on the application.
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much for staying to the end of the webinar. We're so glad that you joined us today. Take a moment to follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube. Our forms will also send another form to evaluate how broad your expertise has grown as a result of the webinar. We also use that for quality assurance, basically. So we'll send that via email to everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and see you in our next webinar. So our next webinar, I would have to do some advertisement now. Our next webinar will be a consultation with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So the lead author of the 7th assessment report will be here with us, and she will be listening to all of our concerns, everything that we want to say everything that we want to say towards COP30, or generally our concerns regarding youth participation or issues regarding loss and damage, whatever that plagues your heart, and you want to pass that on to the panel on climate change, make sure that you register for that webinar. So more details will be coming on our social media platforms and via email, and keep connecting with us, and we'll try as much as possible to put your voices out there as much as we can. So thank you so much once again for joining the webinar. Kindly follow us once again.
Sorry. Oh, is your webinar always last Saturday of the month so that I can be prepared?
Not necessarily, but somehow coincidentally, it's usually the last Saturday. So I think the one that we're going to do for September 2 would be on the last Saturday. If I remember correctly, it's going to be on the 27th. But it's usually the availability of our facilitators, not necessarily any time frame. But all our webinars are free. They are also available on YouTube. So if you want to get more insight on energy, climate change, since last year, we've been hosting this webinars every month. So you would have a robust understanding of different concepts. So feel free to visit our YouTube channel. You would gain a lot. This has been going on since January 2024, and we're happy to be here in August 2025. So stay tuned for more, and we will bring more exciting opportunities your way. Thank you. Thank you. Connect with us on YouTube. Let me put the links again. Connect with us on Facebook, on LinkedIn majorly, and on Facebook. YouTube. Okay, so adding the second one. And if you have ideas for new topics, please feel free to reach out to us. We would also bring that your way. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll post